Some stories aren't about chasing fame. They're about choosing purpose. And sometimes, the ones who walk away from the spotlight end up shining even brighter where it matters most. This is the story of Jackie Harling, a woman born into gospel greatness, raised under the harmonies of the Gaither Homecoming family, and now using her voice, not to perform, but to lead. Born in Murray, Kentucky, Jackie Newton, now Jackie Harling, was raised in a world most only dream of. Her father, the legendary Calvin Newton, was a Hall of Fame gospel tenor with a story as bold as his voice. He sang with icons like the Blackwood Brothers, Sons of Song, and the Oak Ridge Quartet before they became the Oak Ridge Boys. His soaring vocals graced platforms across America and later would ring out through churches, concert halls, and yes, the Gaither Homecoming stage. The Gaither connection wasn't just professional, it was personal. Jackie's parents became part of the Gaither Homecoming family, traveling and ministering with Bill and Gloria Gaither's gospel ensemble. Jackie grew up immersed in the music, backstage at revival meetings, and side stage at homecoming tapings. That experience planted seeds in her spirit. Her mother, Joyce, a classically trained pianist, set aside concert halls to support her husband's ministry. And together they raised their children in a home filled with faith, music, and mission. Without iPhones or TV distractions, Jackie and her brother Wes spent their weekends singing at churches and gospel events. Jackie said it best. "I can imagine how my 12-year-old would react if I told her we were going to churches all weekend to sing, but I loved it." By age 10, she was learning harmony by ear, training not in a studio, but beside her father. Gospel music wasn't just a genre, it was the language of their home. As a teen, she dabbled in songwriting, and her musical influences expanded. Thanks to a kind radio DJ named Jerry Pond, she listened to Streisand, Elvis, the Moody Blues, even Pat Boone. Her voice was bold but honey smooth, her presence magnetic. Everything about her said future star. But then she met Keith Harling. At just 16 years old, Jackie was singing backup in a recording studio when she met Keith, who was playing saxophone. 3 years later, they were married. And with that, Jackie chose something few in the music business dare to choose: a different stage, one of family, faith, and simple joy. What interrupted the plan to go to California was meeting my husband, which I'm very glad it did, Jackie said. "A lot of people in entertainment can be successful, but not happy. I'm thankful I didn't make that move." Keith, who came from a business background, began pursuing country music, while Jackie stepped out of the spotlight. She embraced being a mother, a wife, and what she called a normal woman. "Being on stage puts you in a vulnerable place," she shared. "I couldn't help but want people to like me, but I was no longer happy being the center of attention." But that wasn't the end of her public story. Years later, after raising her family, surviving serious health challenges, and staying rooted in faith, Jackie reemerged. Not with a mic in hand, but with a message in her heart. In 2025, Jackie Harling stepped into politics. She ran for first vice chair of Georgia's 14th Congressional District GOP, affectionately known as the Mighty 14th. Her slogan? Experience matters. Let's keep winning. She had already served as chairwoman of the Walker County GOP, where she showed bold leadership by holding local school board members accountable in a high-profile censure. One local columnist even praised her as genuine, unyielding, and unafraid to challenge even her own party. So let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Jackie Harling didn't just grow up around gospel legends. She lived it. She walked away from fame not in fear, but in wisdom. She chose her calling, not the crowd. And years later, she answered a new call, not from a stage, but from the people. Jackie Harling's life is a reminder that true success isn't measured in applause, it's measured in faithfulness. From gospel music stages to political podiums, from being Calvin Newton's daughter to being a servant of her community, she has lived a life of legacy, of grace, and of purpose. Like, comment, and share if this story inspired you. Subscribe for more faith-driven legacy stories from the world of gospel and beyond.